All right, we should be live. We are going to wait a couple minutes to let you guys who can get on. And we are super excited about this, to be sharing with you guys. I'm Chloe, and this is my husband, Justin.
Hello.
I literally hyperventilated a couple times before getting on this live, so just know it never gets easier. But you got to do the things that challenge you to actually make a change. And we're going to talk a lot about that. It's called Willpower. So, hey guys, hop on.
Look at this engagement on
We
this
are
page.
so excited. We are so happy to share with you guys how we are dreaming together this year. For sure, you printed off the goals we made yesterday. Definitely, right? We got those. Okay, can we print those?
Real quick,
Yep, can you do that? We're going to need those. All right, guys, so we will get started in another minute, waiting for people to hop on. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Hope you guys are having a good morning. And even if you're not, the chance for anything to be good is up to you, right? You have the opportunity every day to turn anything around and make anything positive. Right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about dreaming. We're going to talk about perspective. We're going to talk about what happens when two people that are dreaming together get on the same page. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm waiting for Justin to get back. So I'm going to open it up with sharing a little bit about my story. And then Justin's going to share when he stepped in and the change that I'm sure, well, you guys may not have noticed. I'm very behind the scenes with how I remold, I guess, my personal business and my life and everything. But this year, my husband actually stepped in. So to everybody who thought, oh, Chloe always had somebody, in her business, that was never true. I think a lot of things get made up about who I am as a person. So we're going to talk about that, right? So you guys can see that we are very similar people. And just ignore the printer going. But just to give you guys a little bit of background about me, let me wait for the printer to run through. Story of my life. Of course the printer's running while I'm doing a live. That's what happens when you have anxiety. Okay, so where was I? All right, let me get started. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story. I'm going to be very honest with you guys, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And if you've met me or you've ever heard me do a training, I just don't have time for the riffraff. I'm here to change lives. I'm here to share testimonies. I'm here to help you guys be the best version of yourself. And I think what happens is a lot of people just get this stigma of people that are at the top of a company, right? And I'm hopeful that these lives that you're hearing this week are showing you that we are all the same. We just are made up differently on the inside, but we all have a heart, we all have a brain, we all have a soul, we all have an opportunity. But the rent is due every day. So a little bit about me. So when I joined Cincy, it was the month after me and my husband got married. Mm-hmm. So just to put in perspective, I was 22, he was 25. We were very young. We started this business, and I want to say, can we stop saying that I'm not successful because of my sponsor? Can we stop that? Can we be done with that? Because I'm going to be honest. The only reason you're not successful is because of you. And we're going to nip that, okay? Your sponsor has no obligation to help you achieve your dreams. And we talked about dreams yesterday, right? And the day before. So when I joined Cincy, pretty much it was immediately, I knew it was a business. I guess we could put it that way. Yeah. I didn't know everything. And guys, quit saying I don't know everything. Of course you don't. Why would you know anything when you join this business? Don't you have to learn, and don't you have to perfect your craft? Can we stop saying I didn't know anything? Of course you didn't know anything. It's a new job. Right? Can we stop saying that? Don't you agree?
I did totally agree.
So you're right. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a nurse. So those of you that didn't know, I went to East Carolina University, one of the best nursing schools in the country. My parents, my dad, saved every dime he had, and I had some money from my grandpa, so I didn't have any debt from college. That was really important to my dad. He paid for all my school. And while I was in school my last 2 years, my now husband came down and helped support me. So I literally lived and breathed textbooks and studying, the hustle, all of those things. So when I graduated nursing school in June of 2012, we got married in October, and boom, I got my kid in November. Just married. We had a new duplex that we couldn't afford at the time, to be honest. The rent was $1,300. We couldn't afford that. That's a mortgage. I don't know why we made that choice, but we made that choice. And long story short, my husband was like, you need a direct sales business so you can pay for that Honda you want. Was it a Honda that I had at the time?
Yeah, it was a Honda Accord too.
Because when I was in college, he had paid for my vehicles, but now we had, our rent before that was $600. You go from $600 to $1,300. We were strapped for cash. So it wasn't optional for me to work the business. So how did I work the business? Very similar to Katie. If you heard her story, we worked very similar. So I would work in between lunch breaks. I worked on a floor. I moved 3 different floors while I was a nurse and doing Cincy. I was on a med surge floor. 0 out of 10 recommend that. Then I thought after I had my son, a doctor's office would be easier. 0 out of 10 recommend that. And then I went back to the hospital to the hardest, most emotionally draining floor, a cancer surgery floor. I can't even talk about what happened on that floor. So I'm saying all of this because I took my kit with me. I picked it up and I brought it with me. And some of you are not doing that. You're looking at your circumstances. You can ask my husband, if I looked at my circumstances in this business, and some of you know a deeper version of my story, people don't want me here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be a consultant. But God changed, he made this my path. And to me, you know, I just remember, like, when my son was born, I just remember missing everything. Everything. We missed everything. So tell me I don't know about giving things up. I don't remember when he walked. I don't remember when he talked. I don't remember his first words. But I'm saying that because I sacrificed 3 years so we could be where we are today. And I want to open that up so you can understand that the dream is free, but the rent is due every day. It takes one match. That's why I titled this training that. It takes one match to start a fire. One match. And some of you guys have all your matches in the matchbox thrown into your junk drawer and you ain't doing anything about it. And to be honest, this is a year where you're either going to do it or you're going to keep making excuses. You're going to look at the people being successful and you're going to implement what are they doing so I can get ideas, or you're going to talk about those people. Do you see? We have a choice every day. What kind of leader am I going to be? What kind of person do I want to be? Katie talked about dreams yesterday. 2,000 PRV is not a dream. That's a little stepping stone to get you to your dream. You have to understand that for 8 years, I have never put my kid down. Can we understand that? Some of y'all have been putting down your kid for the past, after the first month of your business. Pick it down, put it up, pick it down, put it up, pick it down. Consistency is what got me and Justin where we're at. Consistency, doing the right things, and just focusing on our journey. And so, Justin, why don't you talk a little bit about when you stepped in, and then we'll talk about our vision together and all of that.
So, yeah, and to piggyback off Chloe, I think we've talked about this before, but I think the very important part and the reason why I bought the kit is because of the fact, and I just want to start there because I really, like Chloe said earlier, I got involved full-time this year just because it got to a point where there was no other choice for me. I had to for the health of our family and for the health of everything to get this business
I'll just
running.
say you guys just have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. I think, again, and y'all have to understand this, and we have to get to this place of like, it's lonely. It's a lonely place at the top, man. it can be really lonely. It can be a lot of pressure. And there were a lot of things that I was doing and modeling for you guys that weren't, it's not that it was wrong. It was just, y'all would not be able to do what I do at this level if we were doing the same thing.
Exactly. And so why buy the kit? Chloe and I don't want to, we don't have no wealth that's going to be left to us, if that makes any sense at all. So
we're paying for our family.
I learned at a very early age, my father is great. He's my hero. And, he's got his own problems, but he's an entrepreneur and he works. He's 65 and still is a plumber working to this day, owning his own business. And so I realized, that I'm going to have to do something that has a no ceiling income, that has the potential to grow into something that's different. So I've said the story so many times now, but for some people that haven't heard this, Cincy was the only company that was out there when I was researching companies that made sense, pun intended. I say that a lot. It made sense. It was like, okay, this is a consumable product. We use the product. We love the product. It's easy to sell. So I went all in. I saw it. I looked at it. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. It's going to sell itself. We buy it anyways. So I know Chloe's personality. She's going to do well with this. She does. I saw something in Chloe she didn't even know yet. Like you guys said, this is one of those things where the longer you go on this journey, it's going to build your confidence. It's going to teach you how to be business owners. And I was so tied up in the banking business that I couldn't. When she talked about I got full on board in 2020, that's the reason why I couldn't. I was in my career at the bank, and I had a ceiling income, and I was a college dropout. There was nothing else I could do at the bank to get to another level because of where I was at in the standing of the business world. And I was very successful. I became an assistant vice president and all that. But when it comes to dreaming together, I saw
somebody asked if we bought Cincy before I was the consultant.
I was the first person to buy Cincy.
Do you want to tell them that story?
Yeah, so I found Cincy, and I actually tried to get Chloe to sign up when she was still in high school. Fun fact. She was 18 years old, a senior in high school, and my boss, who is now Chloe's frontline, funny story, her name's Sarah Dillon, she was my boss, sold Cincy. She was actually on the ground floor with Cincy. She was with those first group of Cincy consultants. I'll never forget, it was like back in 2007. And then Cincy started in 2004.
Yeah, so
it was 3 years into Cincy being Cincy, and a lady at my bank brought it in. It was I bought a blueberry cheesecake, and it was a brown warmer that had like continents on it. That was my warmer, and I had that. And then I had Chloe host a party because I wanted to get some more free stuff for Christmas gifts, and it was a funny experience. And I was like, Chloe, you just need to sell this stuff and make some extra side cash. But obviously, I'm glad she didn't do that at the time.
I had to get through nursing school. If anybody,
so it was 2008.
Yeah, and I got my bachelor's, so it was intense.
Flash forward 4 years, we come back around again. I said, forget it. We need money. She wants this Accord. I'm signing you up whether you like it or not.
Well, and somebody said, wow, I never knew that about your story. Guys, we are human beings.
Yeah.
We struggle. We don't come from money. I didn't have support in my business when I joined from my family. My mom is an alcoholic and is in and out of jail. So I think you guys have to realize that we are the same. And I feel the reason I keep saying this is because I feel like you guys think that it just happened for me. Like I just woke up and this happened. Y'all don't even want to know all the things I did this morning before this call. I work my ass off, and you guys can too. So I just want to plug that in because I love seeing comments like that, but then I'm also like, guys, I almost threw up before this call. Like, I don't know what you guys are comparing yourself to, but we're the same. We're the same. The only difference is me and Justin show you guys what to do to be successful, and I didn't have that.
And yeah, so that's why I bought the kit. I saw the vision, and I actually just got back from a seminar with a guy who was high up in banking, and his wife was a stay-at-home mom, and he said, why waste her talents? And he talked about that. He said his wife is a very talented person. Why waste her talents on just sitting at the house raising our kids when she can do something else that's going to make her a better person? And it hit me. I was like, Chloe, and look, at the time, not saying nursing's a difficult career. You guys deserve 4 days off. Chloe was working 3 days, but
I worked 4 and then 3.
Yeah.
I did 0.9.
And she deserved the days off that she had. But in my mind, I was like, we didn't know anybody here in Greenville. We knew nobody. So she was sitting at the house, literally. I remember calling me all the time saying, hey, can you come home early? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I was like, I really feel like, she could do something that could change our lives. And it was $99. Like, it was $100 that we couldn't afford at the time.
No, we couldn't afford it.
But in my mind, I was like, if this thing works out, even if we just buy the product, that $100 is going to come back in 3 months. So that was the reason why. And I saw it, and then when we got the kit, it was game over. I still have that photo saved on my phone when Chloe took the picture of the kit and what she told me whenever that kit. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you please come home and help me unbox this? That's what Chloe said. And that's what started the togetherness there. And I think that's important. The purpose of this training is to show you guys how to dream together.
Yep.
What the purpose of this meeting is not to do is to say your husband needs to do what I do. The purpose of this meeting is not to say you need to work the business the same way Chloe and I do. The purpose of this meeting is for if you are married, if you have somebody that you're involved with, or if you have accountability partners that you talk to in this business, because that's dreaming together too.
Yep.
There's all these different ways you could dream together with somebody. And so what I want to tell you is you have to start from the beginning and you have to be on board and you have to start dreaming then. And I remember when I really wasn't even that involved in Cincy, I kind of would step in. So now we're flash forward and going through the years since Chloe was joined. I would jump in here and there and share my strengths with her when I could. I was a professional labeler and I was a professional taking it to the post office. That's what I did for legit 5 years of this business.
No, 7.
7. I still do it to this day. I still go to this day. I still do it. And I would step in sometimes when Chloe would get overwhelmed because she was figuring it out on her own. And I would tell her things I did in my job that helped me, books I read, stuff like that, and shared experiences that I thought that would help her better and just breathing in her ear. But I wasn't doing the work. I wasn't in there doing it. I would hop on a training here and there, say, hey, give tips and stuff like that. But one thing I will say is, Chloe made a comment earlier about how she had to work like that. Our dream and vision for us dreaming together is to put everything down on the line on what we did to be successful. So you guys don't miss those moments starting this business. Yeah, it's a hustle. Yeah, you got to sacrifice stuff. Yeah, you have to have consistency. And we're going to talk a little bit about, a new theory that I have called mini habits on this call and the difference between motivation and willpower here in a second. But what I want to say is, we're laying all this foundation out, and Chloe has for the past 8 years because she truly loves every single soul.
For 8 years. So for 8 years, you guys have gotten tools from me for 8 years. And still some of you say you don't know what to do.
Yeah. And so that's where you see a lot of this passion come from, is because we're showing all the tools and everything for you guys to be successful. You have to.
We're not even showing you the tools. It's what I do.
Yeah, it's everything.
This is how I work. Yeah. When I share with you guys, it's, hey, I'm not only being successful with Cincy Club, I now have $4,800 in it. Let me show you.
Yeah, and that's.
So we got to start being accountable, I think, too, about before we get into dreams. Like, accountability, I think, is going to be key. We have to self-assess where we're at, and we have to stop blaming everybody else for internal willpower that we need to work on.
And I'll just say this. Cincy, when you become a consultant, you have to start looking at it as a business. And I think that's the misconception.
Yes.
This to us, and that's the culture we're building, and that's the country, the culture we've always tried to build, is that this is a business. It does have the benefits of creating wealth. It does have the benefits of creating long-lasting friendships. It does have the benefits of creating confidence and entrepreneurial spirit. All these benefits come with it. However, at the end of the day, it is a business. And what do you have to do when you have a job? You have to clock in and clock out every day, set work schedules. We went over all these trainings so many times. But I think the disconnect that I see whenever you're dreaming together with your spouse or accountability partner is actually not being honest and having communication through that. And being honest with yourself. So what I want you guys to do, for the rest of this call is just think about this. What was your vision and thought when you first bought that kit? And why did you buy the kit? Really assess why. Because I think that's where your root and where everything is going to start. And hopefully where you're going to get the most out of this call is being able to answer that question. And when you're whenever I talk to people about a question that causes them to think and to dream, it's not an answer of because I wanted more money. No, you could have got a second job to get more money. You could have set up an Etsy shop. You could have done something to make more money. Why Cincy? Why did you say yes to that? Because, what I'm looking for is because I do this because this is what this is going to provide, or this is what this is going to do, and this is how I'm going to get there, and this is the way. It needs to be a long thing. It needs to be something that's scary. You have to dig down deep to figure out that is, because if not, this call's not going to matter.
And Katie talked about this yesterday, and if you guys didn't listen to that, I highly recommend it, because if you were relying on the 133 of you are on here right now, 80% of you are on here to get motivation. Motivation is the problem. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And so let's talk about our goals together, because now that we're doing this, let's just give them some stuff. So share what we're looking at as far as Cincy goes.
Yeah, so when we do our goals, okay, just to kind of share with you how we do it, and we really just implemented this year. So guess what, guys? It's fine. Just start moving. Just start doing something. You know, why are we trying to perfect a craft before we actually move our feet? So I typed out ending 2020 goals and 2021 goals and dreams. And then I have 2 words for 2021. I'm not going to share them yet because I'm still praying on those. But I also have quotes above my goals because that's important to me. So I have, you are exactly capable of what you say you are, and love yourself the way Jesus does, baby girl. Because those are things that I need so I can really stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, so 2020 ending goals, I have those written down or typed up, and then I have the ones checked off I've already met for this year. And then I do personal and business goals, guys. So this is important if you have a spouse, significant other, your account, whoever your ride or die is for this business. It is important for you to do separate goals, both personal and business, and then goals together that are personal and business. I have 2 words for 2021, but I'm not ready to share them yet. I'll share them with y'all whenever I feel like it's right. Still got to pray on it. It's a big deal. By the way, if you made a word, mine was evolved this year. So we evolved. You better choose your word wisely. Okay? It's going to challenge you. So my personal goals, some examples of those: be a better wife and a mother for my kids, grow as a leader. I want to do 500 Peloton rides. I want to be the strongest I've ever been. I love renovating, so I want all my home renovations done by December 2021. And me and Justin want to make a book next year. So write a book. And then business. There's 2 different books, but that's the first book. Business, purchase and renovate a mountain house for retreats. We want a group of 20,000 by the end of 2021. So there you have it. We'll be over 20,000. Annual mentor and annual sales. Promote 6 frontline superstar directors in 2021. That's a big deal for me.
So directors, we're coming for y'all.
And then continue using new systems and evaluate them quarterly. And then Justin has some of his personal goals, and then he'll read the ones we have together.
Yeah, so basically my goals look a little bit different, because the way I look at goals is in saying things, it's like I have to put Chloe would tell you this, I have to put like a time range on there, because if I just write a goal down, it's never going to happen.
Yes. So
golf once a week, just because, and you'll hear me talk about this a little bit later about rewards, and you'll hear me say something about that. Workout 3 times a week. Season 2 for our podcast we done, I want that to be planned out and scheduled for the first quarter. My business partner and I, with our catch business, continuing to grow it. Steward what God has given me. Keep my son into sports. Travel more with our family and spend time together. And then have Chloe more involved in some of my business aspects and bringing her involved with that.
Yep. And then let's talk about, do you have business goals for yourself? Or are these ours together?
This is ours together.
Oh, his personal and business was mixed together.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is important, because sitting down with your spouse, I can't cuss a lot. This is going to be on YouTube. It's hard. It's hard. We've never sat down together and wrote goals like this. So I want to be very transparent, and I want you guys to know it's never too late. Mm-hmm. It is never too late. Don't feel like you're a failure. Just sit down and get started. Even if that means you just sit down with your spouse and you have coffee, or you have a glass of wine and you start talking. Yeah. And you just, if they're not super open to it, just start talking. Hey, these are some dreams I've been thinking about. These are some dreams. Start talking about it. I think that would have made it a lot easier for us if I just started sharing with my spouse the excitement and the dreams and the goals. So then together, our goals together. Very important. So
Yeah, so this is important too. When I just said the word schedule, Chloe and I, we talk about it, but we're going to get in a habit next year. And because this is something I do with my other companies and what I've always had to do is we're going to start having a monthly budget meeting Sunday nights at 8:00. But it's important to do that so you can understand if you want to treat it like a business. I mean, if you want this to run like a business, you have to treat it like a business. So you got to start with that, and that's important, and not get surprised at the end of the year with a high tax bill or this or something that got thrown under the rug. Or your husband may be good at inventory management. He may say, hey, babe, I saw you order too many of these things and we had to throw a lot of them away. It's just different things like that to talk through to make sure this business is something that's a positive thing and you don't feel like it's draining the life out of you. Grow our team to 20,000. She already said that. Earn annual sales and earn your mentor. Earn the incentive. Keep utilizing Chloe's YouTube channel to make sure we're developing anybody that wants to be developed. This is good for anybody that wants to promote the SSD and SD. We're going to plan an April and September SSD retreat, plan a yearly SD retreat, develop new growing tools for consultants. We're constantly trying to evolve that to make new training tools for you guys and make it to where we're not hand-holding you. You're going to see that a lot. Some of you may have noticed that. One thing that I'm good at noticing is, I said this all the time, you can either have control or growth. You cannot have both. And so a lot of times, and we're going to talk about this in a second, so I'll wait before I start talking about motivation and willpower. And then this is the other book she was talking about. This is separate business stuff we want to do, but I want to make a cookbook. Cooking. And
how we started and got that dream? He was cooking one night and I just started sharing it in my story. Then I made a hashtag and now it's on our dream board. Mm-hmm. So quickly things can actually become real life if you start believing in yourself and stop stopping yourself. It's that simple. That's how that book, that's how that whole idea came to be. And it's going to happen. And guess what? If nobody buys it, we don't care. That's not the point. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to shock ourselves. We want to leave a legacy for our kids. Why are you getting out of bed every morning? Why are you still being negative? Why are you still having zero PRV? Why are you not recruiting? And why are you blaming everybody else? As far as I checked, you're not going to write my book for me. Mm-hmm. You're not going to pay my son's tuition for college. Or if he doesn't want to go to college, to open up his own business. Last I checked, I'm in the driver's seat. Remember that. So Justin.
Those are scary dreams. And so what I want to talk about now, and it's something that I read about 2 or 3 months ago, and it's funny because Chloe and I have been talking about this a lot this year. And what was it, Chloe? I came to you about 3 months ago and said that God's been putting a lot on my heart. And sorry, guys, we pray and all that stuff.
It's okay. Y'all know we're believers. If you're not, guess what? We still love you anyways.
But
why would we not?
God put something on my heart because I've just been, and I'm pretty absent on social media. I like to just look at what everybody else is doing and analyze.
He gets on my social media. He gets on my Instagram. I'm like, get out of my Instagram.
Not in a creepy way. I do it from a business standpoint. And I actually find orders for her that she misses. So what God put on my heart is this idea of motivation, and it's funny. So I started doing research on it because I've seen so much stuff of fluff in the highlight reel, and I looked at Chloe. I said, "This is not what." I said something along the lines like, "I just feel heavy on my heart that." What's happening right now in this world where you can't have your own opinion no more, where everybody's comparing themselves, where everything's fake. You don't know what's real no more. I said, this is creating lazy business, and this is creating business that's not real. And back in my banking days, what makes a business successful? Income and revenue. All right. And profits. And a post of a quote or a post of this is not gonna put money in the bank. An influencer may get a post here and there, but at the end of the day, if you have to get motivated to wake up and work your business, you're building everything on a rocky foundation.
It's not the right thing.
You're basically building the foundation of your business on liquid.
Yeah.
So I have this thing, this is a thought process that I had in my mind, and
let me just stop too. If you stop working because you're stressed out, or because you're comparing yourself, or because you didn't get trained, which is a bunch of BS. Go on YouTube. Go on my channel.
the workstation. Go through the first things first checklist.
If you're saying those things, it's time to look internally, or you're never going to dig down and find that reason to get out of bed every day.
So you remember that question I told you guys to ask yourself earlier, why the kit?
Yeah.
All right, so this is why. This is a thought process that I typed out, and it's something that I read and it hit me, so I'm just going to read it real quick. And it's, do your wildest dreams really require an extra motivation boost? Is it that you don't want them enough, or is it more accurate that it's hard to put in the work to live your dreams when you're stressed or tired, or that you doubt the likelihood you can reach them?
So basically, what does that mean? Because I'm kind of lost.
So basically, what that is saying is, if you need motivation to go after your dreams, then your dreams are not really your dreams. It's somebody else's dream you saw on social media, and you're comparing yourself to it, and you want that. So
we're done with the training. Do we need to say anything else?
But and I don't mean that negatively.
It's not negative. It's just true. It's a huge issue.
What I'm saying is, you may not want what you see on social media, but it's so in your face, and everybody is so addicted to their phone nowadays and looking at it that they honestly make it up in their mind that they want something that they never really ever wanted. So we need to go back to willpower instead of motivation. Now, don't get me wrong. Motivation is great. Motivation is great. However, if you have to feel motivated to get out of bed to work, it's always going to fail you, because motivation is only dependent upon how you feel, and everything can affect.
And let me just back up. For a long time, for 7 years to be exact, I poured myself into motivating others all the time. I had team members addicted to me motivating them. I had them tell me that. That is not a web that you want to be caught up in, which is exactly why we're switching over next year to teach you guys about willpower. Absolutely.
And we're actually doing our group training on that tonight for our leaders. So, I mean, that's something that you're going to hear. But I'll say this, and I'm real big in the art of war lately, and this is a quote that I love from it, and it's, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with one step. Everything that's successful, everything. Go back to anything that's ever successful. It took a small step.
One step.
One step. One match.
One match.
One match. It took one match to start the fire. And so take the first step and have the willpower to start a meeting.
Yep.
To start this.
Backing up to Amber Monday, I love the way that her teacher brain was on this. She literally imagined us in a box. Remember that? Give me some loves if you watched her training. If you haven't, you need to, it's time. She said it's like we're in a box. And every time we say no to an opportunity, or every time, actually, it's not even an opportunity. You guys aren't even getting opportunities because you're not even trying to find them. But it's every time you say no, every time you don't book that party, every time you don't have that conversation, every time you don't drop off that order, you put more tape on the box. And every time you put that duct tape on that box, it makes it harder and harder to crawl out of.
It's just, it's one of those things that I've been seeing, and God has really put it on my heart, and you're going to start hearing me saying it so much, that you have to have willpower in order to make this business successful. And look, willpower is better than motivation, because guess what? Willpower can be scheduled, and willpower can be strengthened.
Well, and willpower doesn't run dry. Like the only reason that my business has been as good as it's been this year is because I have willpower. This business is not negotiable for me. It doesn't matter how my anxiety is that day. It doesn't matter if I feel like I want to kill myself. I'm just going to be really honest. My husband knows all about my anxiety. Those things don't matter. Because if I don't show up, my son can't go to school, the school I want him to go to. If I don't show up, my husband will have to go back to work or work more. If I don't show up, I can't feed my family, and neither can he. That's called willpower. Mm-hmm. That's our why. I'm here to feed my freaking family. What are you showing up for? To book a party? Why are you booking a party? Why do you continue to not get paid at title?
Mm-hmm. And that goes back to the question, why Cincy? Why start your own business?
Yeah, so let's be super positive and talk about the dreams.
And so I'm tying everything into that. So that's why I'm saying, why Cincy? Why start this? Why this? So this is good. This is conversation that you can have with your spouse.
And and the small dreams, think about this. Like our dreams, we've been doing dreams and goals for a long time, but just talking it out. Like they started small. Mm-hmm. And they grew. And I think that we have to quit. You have to just start. If big, scary goals scare the crap out of you, then I guess put a small goal. But put a goal. Put a dream. Yeah. Put something. there's, we have such deep rooted dreams. We are going to retire our parents. We are going to, eventually get rental properties all over the world and be able to have retreats for you guys and be able to Airbnb it. Our dreams are so deep. Like Katie said, stop saying your goal is a title and your dream is a title. That may be a small goal to get you to your title, but what are you going to do when you're an SSD like I was, the only SSD in this group for a long time? I didn't have another goal for Cincy above that. You know what my goal was? Circle of Excellence, and it's 6 frontline superstar directors. Do you know how hard that is? So if I would have been relying on the next step with my company, I would be done. I would have been done 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So we've got to start dreaming and realizing too that you can do it. I want to really help leave them on like a good ending point for how important a dream is.
Yeah, so here's what I'll say about a dream. And this goes back to that question of why Cincy. If you can't answer that question, now's the time to start to dream big. Pun intended for what this training is, and to dream big together, and to have that. Your accountability, this business is your responsibility. However, you do have to have accountability to somebody. That's why we titled it Dream Big Together, because we're accountable to each other in this business. So if you don't have that, find it, because you have to share it with somebody. That way you're rooted in something and can know.
And a lot of people will say, well, I can't find it. You know how I found my accountability and all that? I built it. Mm-hmm. I built it.
Yeah.
I grew our group. Grow your group. You will find people within your team that will be accountability. Go to events. Guess what? We're hosting a beautiful one at our house next month. 5% of this group will be here. Not my problem. The 5% here are the 5% that will find accountability, that will find belief, and that will grow their business.
Orville says it best.
You have to show up. You got to go to events.
Orville said it to me one time that businesses, the Cincy business, are built at events. Isn't that what he says? Something along the lines of that businesses are built at events. The reason why is because you're meeting other people that have the same
that you work
goal,
with.
and that you work with. You guys are all in this together. It's not a competition.
No.
And it's not a comparison, and it's not a talent show. It is a people that are successful.
And if you're here for the talent show, get the heck off my page. Get out of this group. If you're here because you want to be better than somebody else on your team, you are not my culture, and I don't want you in here. Sorry. I don't know what else to say about it. That's not who we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just want you guys to know that your dreams are limitless. They are limitless. They are endless. They have no ceiling. It is no ceiling. Just like with this business, you have the opportunity for no ceiling income. Okay? No ceiling revenue. And we've got to start dreaming. I think that Monday and Tuesday's lives set it up perfectly because we don't need to dig in anymore about how to dream, right? Amber and Katie executed that perfectly, but now we have to start. Have you even wrote down your dreams yet? Because that was 1 day ago. And then 2 days ago, you should have been thinking about a word. What have you done with the information we've already given you? Who's moved on that? Who's written down their goals? Who's typed them up? Because last I checked, Katie's training was yesterday. Do you understand? We don't have time, guys, to sit back and have a tea pity party. We need to change the world. And you're not going to change the world by sitting back and not letting God use you. Every person in this group has a gift that is different, right? I've been talking a lot about this with you guys. You are one of one, right? You are limited edition. Why don't we believe we're limited edition? I get it. But we need to believe that we're limited edition. We need to believe this is our one shot. We got one shot at life. What are you going to leave at the grave? The biggest place dreams die is in the graveyard.
It's the richest
Lost
place in
dreams,
the
the richest place in the world. How many dreams is Cincy going to get you to? Cincy is a vessel. We have opened 3 other businesses because of Cincy. Cincy is your vessel to a different life. It is more than 2,000 PRV. You know how you're going to hit 2,000 PRV? By being consistent. By getting off your butt and doing something about your life. But if your goal is just 2,000 PRV instead of I'm getting out of this job, or I'm going to make X amount a month, or I'm going to get my son or my daughter in the best school, or whatever it is, your dream has to be big. 99% of this group plays it small, and I totally get it. You've never had anybody believe in you. You've never had anybody tell you that you're awesome. We were lucky to have parents, at least one of each of our parents. He had 2 good ones. I had one good one until my stepmom came in. We were fortunate to have people tell us they believed in us. But I know for a fact that you guys, there are so many of y'all, you just don't believe you can do it. You don't believe you can book a party. Why me? Why would it happen to me? Why would it happen to me?
Why did you even join then?
Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and you just start working and see if it can happen to you instead of just talking? I don't care about this. Don't care. Your goals, all those things you're typing out on this page, they're beautiful, but what are you going to do about it tomorrow? What are you going to do about it when you get out of bed tomorrow and you feel depressed? What are you going to do about it whenever your family gets sick or you have an event happen? That's called willpower. And we're going to talk about that tonight. If you're a lead and above, we're going to talk about that tonight in our call.
And I'll just leave this.
Yeah,
Chloe,
close it out.
I'm going to close it out right here. Chloe talked about, the word that you guys got on Monday. Katie was talking about the application and how she's doing everything. Now it's doing it. You've heard me, if you guys watch any of our training, I always say a bunch of formulas. And the one thing I'll say is like activities times effectiveness equals results. Skill versus will. These are things that I say, and the reason why it's important is when you're thinking about your dreams, if you're writing these dreams down, if you're just writing the dream just to write it because everybody else is doing it, that's a comparison game. That's not deep-rooted, and it's not going to make you get out of bed.
Or if you're saying, so someone just commented, I have no one but me. Don't put yourself in a box because of that. Don't put yourself in a box.
No.
That means nothing.
You're all you need.
You're all you need. You're all you got, baby. What are you going to do for yourself?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. You're all you need in order to get it going. So you have to have that dream deep rooted to do it. But you have to then put it into application. Think of the 3 legs of success. If that's how you're successful at Cincy and your goals and your dreams are used to build off of those 3 legs. PRV is never going to stop. Recruiting is never going to stop. Coaching never stops. It doesn't stop at our level either.
No,
if you're thinking that it's going to stop and slow down and you can coast,
then get out.
Then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're in the wrong business. You've opened up the wrong company if you think that's what you can do is coast and be successful.
You're not going to coast and float.
Yeah, there's no way you can do it. People try to do it, but at the end of the day, it only works for so long because then it turns into a motivation and a liquid foundation and it doesn't have the willpower to keep going. If you're consistent and you lead from the front and you do the right thing and you do it every day, and look, and I'm not talking about you have to work for 20 hours every day.
I work 3 to 4 hours a day now, baby. That's it.
And look, and here's the thing. If you're just getting started and you're uncomfortable, you have to build willpower.
Oh.
And the way you do that, I was talking to Chloe about this last night. It takes small steps and rewards for you to build willpower. The way you do that, okay, I'm going to work on PRV. All I'm going to do is every day, I'm going to reach out to one customer. That's very doable. Every day, I'm going to have one recruiting conversation. Every day, I'm going to text a team member and tell them how good of a job they're doing.
Just one.
Boom. 3 legs of the stool done. And guess what? Then you reward yourself. Self-care. Watch your movie. Read a book. Do something. Because at the end of the day, if you burn yourself out, you're going to lose willpower.
Yes.
And then you're going to require motivation, which absolutely is not the way to do it.
We're done with that. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself. Give yourself a clap, a pat on the butt, a pat on the back, whatever you need. But I love the way Justin ended that because...
I was about to say, we ended it good.
Because those little steps, like Katie talked about yesterday, and we're going to trickle this into 2021, those little steps, those pebbles, ripple and ripple and ripple. And what you're going to notice going into 2021 is we're not going to say, you know what, we're doing a booking blitz today. Reach out to 500 people. No, just one.
Yeah.
Just book one party today. Just one.
Build that willpower. That's
just
how you build it.
Because what's happening, too, is so many people... Perfect example. Some of y'all have 0 PRV right now, or you're not at your PRV goal because you don't have a good foundation in how you get your PRV. So what you're going to do is you're going to scrap to get to your 2,000. You're going to stress yourself. You're going to strap yourself. That creates burnout. That's not sustainable. So what we are going to teach you guys into 2021 is something we've been really working on this year is perfecting the craft of doing less better and learning how to dream big dreams and implementing that.
Absolutely.
So, and we'll be done.
Yeah, thank you guys. And look, all these trainings and all this stuff, if you show up just to show up because you think it's going to it doesn't make you any more successful by just showing up. Yes, showing up is important, but now what are you going to do with it? How are you going to take the information that's given, the experience that have been shared, and are going to continue to be shared? I mean, there's still a bunch of people that are sharing on this page. There's still a bunch more sharing that's going to be happening on this page.
Yeah.
All these trainings we do.
Is tomorrow. Yeah. Ray's closing it out Friday. It's going to be epic. I'm sure they'll put it on their channels too after the fact.
So what I'm going to say, and the way I think is a good way to end it is, you got the information, you got from the top of the company, as far as title goes, you're getting what they're doing to make their dreams bigger and their businesses better. So how are you going to make it yours? How are you going to take it and make it your own dreams? What's going to make you want to write dreams down that are your dreams and not just writing dreams down because you feel like you have to do it? Yep. What's going to make you get up, set a schedule, do your full-time job, and do one task in each of the legs every day? Find out what you love again. Find out what you can do to reward yourself. Start reading again if you love to read. Start working out if you enjoy working out, but start cooking if you love to cook. I saw somebody wanted to get a food truck, okay? That's your dream, but guess what? Work since you do one task a day, and then guess what? Perfect a dish. Start with just throwing the butter in the pan and then don't even throw anything in there, but at least you're doing that start and you're learning how to cook better. So I'll end it at that. You got to start somewhere though. And so I'm going to start holding everybody I can accountable with. You got the information. Now what are you going to do with it? Okay. No more calling and saying, I just don't feel like doing it today. Nobody feels like doing it.
No more coaching calls. More coaching calls talking about the same thing over and over. We're done doing it.
Look, here's the thing. I've talked to bodybuilders. I've talked to anybody in the fitness industry. Do you want to know the one thing that they still hate doing more than anything? Getting out of the car, walking to the gym, and grabbing the 45-pound plate to put it on the bar. It never gets lighter. It's never going to get lighter. But the reason why they do it is because they have the willpower and they know what they're doing and they've trained their mind to do it. That's all it takes. Your mind's a muscle. Work it.
Love you guys. We'll see you tonight if you're leading above. And let's freaking dream. Bye.
Bye.